marvellous.
You don't look like Sherry or Harriet.
No, I don't think it is Sherry or Harriet.
No.
It's gorgeous. Bob Barrett. Oh, it was so lovely to have you back with us, Bob.
Amazing to be on the show. Oh my God, it's been a while. It's so good to see you both. Oh, this is marvellous. Marvellous.
Do you know what we should invent? Hug-a-vision. Hug-a-vision?
Hug-a-vision.
Yes. Quickly.
Just be like that. Just hug each other like that. That's a bit weird, actually, if I do that. If I go like that, so we're hugging each other like that. Hug-a-vision. Hug-a-vision.
Hug-a-vision.
Almost like a porn. It's almost like a porn Zoom, isn't it? Darling, Bob, do you know, we haven't seen you since the beginning of the year. It's the longest time you haven't been here.
I know. It's been a long time. So much. I was thinking this today because I'm thinking so much has happened.
Come on, tell us.
Well, no, not just to me, but to everyone. I mean, the whole world. I mean, so much has happened in the last year. It's been unbelievable.
It has.
But we want to know what's been happening with you, darling.
Well, gosh, I can't remember. I think I saw you after the last airing of the last episode of Holby, I think.
Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So since then, it's been lovely. It's been lovely being at home. It's been lovely having a short break. It was about 2 months or something, which was very quiet. And then since then, it's picked up, and I've done a Father Brown. I did an episode of Father Brown.
Oh, wow.
Great.
I loved doing Father Brown. It was the best. It was such fun.
Oh.
And I did, I went back to Casualty. Sasha went to Casualty for an episode, which was hilarious because I literally found out, it's the weirdest thing. I found it, because you know me, I'm not on social media. I don't do any of that. But I just got the job. I just got the call saying, we want you to come to Casualty. And then literally the same day, I was inundated with texts from people saying, are you a regular on Casualty now? And I was like, how do you know I've been offered Casualty? Literally, like it was. And then someone said it's in the press. Something, so you know, there's an article about it. I was going, what? And I looked it up. I looked it up, thinking, what the hell is this? And there was a guy, obviously an SA. There was a guy who looks just like me, had his back to camera, but looked like me, was wearing the clothes that Sasha wore, and everyone had seen this on Casualty and gone, oh my God, Sasha's back in Casualty because Sasha's in the back of shot. So it was obviously, they just thought, and actually, it wasn't me, it was someone else. I don't know who it was, who looked just like me. But then it all came out and they said, oh, because when I went and did it, they took photographs, and so everyone now knows I'm back in Casualty. Only for one ep, but it was such.
Well, so you can always go back again, can't you, darling?
Well, that's the beautiful thing is, it was just to remind the viewers that, you know, there was another hospital, you know, bit to the hospital, and that we could come back and down. So I came down in the lift. It was like I'd never left. I was just talking about Dom. I was talking about all these other characters, Lofty, Lee Mead's character, all these things, and it was amazing. And I did most of my stuff, thank the Lord above, with Will, my most beautiful man. Will. I adore Will.
He's been on here. You know, he's been on here quite a few times.
I know. That's why I said we've got the birds, we've got the Fab Four in common, and we were talking about it. And he was going, oh, I love going on that, bro. I love it. So marvellous. And I said, I know, it's the best thing in the world. So we had a lovely bonding. We had a birds bond. We had a birds bond.
And also, you have lots and lots of fans. And you know your number one fan, Lorraine.
I know.
She sends big kisses and hugs and
love
loves.
her so much.
I
love
know,
her
and she adores you. She talks about you all the time. And it's like, she loves the fact that she is the number one fan as well.
She is. She's so special to me. She really is. As you were, obviously. But it's just when you got that call, that was so amazing that day.
I know.
That was so amazing. It cheered me up so much. I was like, oh my God. When you were in Pinewood.
That's
right. Were doing something, that was the...
That's right.
God, I just pictured you all there. I was like, why couldn't I have been there with you?
I know.
Just amazing.
So what, after Casualty, tell us what else you've been doing.
So after that was quite recent. We finished that quite recently. I've been offered a lot of theatre. But I've sort of turned it on. I'm not very good at turning things down.
No,
No.
we
Because
never are.
it always panics me.
No.
Always say yes. I remember, is it Patricia Hayes? Someone said about Patricia Hayes. Someone said to her back in the day, lovely Patricia Hayes. They said, why you never stop? You know, you've had an amazing career and you do this. And she said, you know my secret? And they said, what? And she went, I always say yes. And I've always said yes. I've always said yes. There was 1 year back in the day when I didn't, and I didn't work the whole year. So I hate saying no to things, but things didn't quite pan out and work out in terms of me being able to do them. So I've said no to like 3 theatre jobs, and I'm desperate to do a play. I really want to do a play. So I feel a bit about it, but I think it's right. I can't, unfortunately, I can't do them. Because nowadays you wait for other things to happen, and if it clashes, you're going to have to let someone down. So I'm sort of limbo, but it's nice limbo because at least it's not radio silence.
Yeah, the thing is about theatre is that really, unless it's near where you live,
Yes.
And also you've been working for what 12 years all the time.
I know.
So it's you kind of need a little bit of time off.
You need a break. You need a break. I mean,
exactly.
It's very good. I mean, but you two are just the same. You two are like me. You love to work.
Yes.
You love it.
Absolutely.
It's the most. It keeps us going. That's what fires us up. The fact that I mean, the guy. What you both do is incredible. And so I think it's that thing of just going, yes, I want to be part of it and do all the whole thing. But you're absolutely right. It was because it was 12 years of Holby, and then there were like 6 years of theatre before that, constant.
Yes.
So 18 years of just constant work, which in this profession is a blessing. I mean, I couldn't be
extraordinary.
I was so lucky. But actually, when you finished, my daughter said to me, she remembers saying to me, "You looked so tired." She said, by the end of Holby, she said, I was worried about you. You sat, there was me sat in the chair. She was like, "Dad, you look really," and I think because it wasn't just Holby, it wasn't just getting up at 4:30 and working all day. It was the emotional hit. And only now can you look back and go, because we finished kind of this time last year, look back and go, wow, that was one hell of an emotional time when we finished that show. Oh my God, every day.
It really was, wasn't it?
It was amazing. It was wonderful. But it was, God, it was just overwhelming. So it's, so I needed a break.
I think the thing is that people don't understand about doing a continual drama like that is that it's your other family, isn't it? It's your complete life. And it is very draining because you're very what's the word, sort of you're only looking in one direction. There's so much going on, so you've got your family, and then you've got your job, and your family and your job. It's not like a normal job where you can cut it off. It's just weird. And sometimes your brain, now that you've gone out of it, your brain suddenly gone boom, this is who I really am.
It does. Because that's so true, because you're so focused the whole time on it. What's weird is all my friends are now going, can we actually see you now? Is this a possibility? So all year I've just caught up with people I hadn't seen for years. They're going, or very rarely, because they're like, well, normally we haven't got a chance of seeing you because you're working all the time. But of course, I have to say this. I mean, I'm sure we can say this. The fact that the three of us, we don't see each other much, but Children with Cancer Ball was such an amazingly special night. I have to say, big up to the great man and the great woman themselves, Tony and Jack McHale, because I texted him afterwards and I said it was kind of because my first year at Holby, this is one of those things that sort of you map out your life with. First year at Holby, I got invited by Tony to go to the ball, and it was my first year of doing anything like that. And I was with Becky, and we were like, oh my God, this is so weird, this is so posh, and this is lovely, and the rest of it. And everyone was there, and Robert was there. Robert Powell was there initially back in the day, and obviously Hugh. And this year, going there, and Tony had 5 tables, and it was amazing because it was not just a reunion of Holby from the beginning, but it was also seeing all the people, including your beautiful selves, who I've met through Tony and Jan, who I love, adore, absolutely adore.
Oh God, yes.
And everyone was there, literally, because he just peopled it with all his close friends who I've got to know and love. And wasn't it overwhelming? I was like, it was a real moment. It was a real moment. And we're obviously there for the best cause in the world.
The thing I didn't like was the fact I couldn't see everybody. That was all.
I saw you. I was
sort of like over there. Over there. I was like, oh my God, where is everybody?
Because we were front onto the audience and you were over there looking that way.
Yeah.
So I was trying to catch everyone's eye. I was trying to catch both of your eyes going, I know where you are, you're over there, and I can't say it. It was literally like that the whole time. I was like waving to people.
You look so dapper, darling, in your suit.
Oh, you are. Well, you look
lovely.
I couldn't fit in my suit. I bought that suit back in the day, and then I'd gone through phases. I can always measure my life by how unable I am to fit into that suit. So when I bought it, it was a perfect fit. Then I went through. I go up and down like lungs. Weight goes up and down. And when I put it on this year, I was like, oh, no, you can't get in the suit. So it was lovely. But it was so, because I didn't know everyone was going to be there. And I just didn't get a chance to see you both, that's all.
It was so lovely to see Hugh. It was really lovely. He's such a charming man, isn't he?
He's such a charming man. And I know you have a real great friendship because, I remember you going, oh, always say hello to Hugh and always say hello to you. And he loved seeing you too, and it was such a lovely.
When I was in Holby, I think it was before you went. I had a fantastic episode. It was kind of just me and him. I've told you about this, and I was terrible with him. I was tickling him, he was tickling my hand, and it was really dramatic scenes. And we were playing so hard, and it was so funny. It really was. And I just thought he's such a lovely man, a lovely actor. And I had a lovely chat with Becky as well. Your lovely wife.
Know.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Oh my God,
she's so gorgeous, isn't she?
She's the most. She's means the word. She's everything. She's my love of my life. So she's everything. She's everything.
Oh,
and it's so lovely.
You are a bit of a girly bloke.
I'm a girly bloke. Yes, I am a girly bloke.
You are a girly bloke. But I was amazed when I did that scene with you with the Wonderbirds show, the Wonderbirds series.
Oh my God, when I was
nasty. You were so brilliant when you got really angry, and I could never imagine you angry, and suddenly you went, yeah.
That's why I like acting. That's because you can get angry. There's no repercussions.
Yeah.
You can get really angry, and then you go, there we are, la la la.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Bob,
so angry. Oh,
I must ask you, Bob. Bob, do you get angry?
Not really. No, I don't. It doesn't. No, I don't. Not really. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
you're human and things, but I don't. I think if ever I feel anger or upset at something like that, upset, I get upset about things, but anger, because I don't like getting angry. It's not a sort of thing that comes easily to me. I'll go for a walk, or I'll just get it out of my system. Rather than say to people, you've done this to me or whatever, I'll just go off and have a walk and just get it out of my system, because anger leaves me like that. It doesn't fester. I know people, people in life who you see them, and it's, I'm up for a part at the moment and the guy's angry all the time, and you go, because I always think with anger, if you give into it, it can take you over. And I think you have to find a way. But there are people who say, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. You should let it out. And I do let it out in various different ways, but I don't like getting angry at people. It doesn't sit easily with me, so I don't do it. Getting angry at you was the hardest thing in the world. That was horrible.
Oh, you got angry with me as well.
And I got angry with you. We had a laugh. We were giggling. We were in the kitchen. We were giggling. That was brilliant. But I just was because I was like, oh, yeah, angry with Dee. This is horrible. I was horrible to you. I was so horrible to you.
Sweet. I know. I was amazed that you could find the anger, because I thought, you don't know what anger is,
No, but I did. Well, I love it. It comes weirdly when I'm working. It comes easily to me. It's so easy. Yeah.
I've had a premonition. I've had a premonition.
What was your premonition?
I think, now you haven't spoken to me and I don't know what you're up for. I think you're going to do something. I think you're going to be a detective in something.
Oh, Oh, I'd love to be that.
Yes,
I can see that.
as a detective.
I can see. Remember,
Yes.
I said it.
You did. I will
got
remember this
thing.
moment. This is the moment I remember.
Oh my
God.
God. My dog Honey is agreeing because she's barking. I've got to get her.
Oh my God, your dog.
She just said, definitely, Bob's going to be a detective. Yes.
Well, this is it then. That's a premonition.
It is. No, I've seen it. You know, sometimes you need someone to see you. I've just seen you as a detective, and I think
you are amazing.
You wait.
I will, as long as we can do it together. As long as we can all work together. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Working, but that's okay. I'll hold that.
Hold that and visualize it.
I'll never forget
there must be a book that's about to be done with a detective. Actually, there is somebody. Do you remember that lady who was on our show, Dee, who had the books? What were they called? Oh, I'll send one to Bob. Yes.
Who's that?
No, she has a series of books.
She did.
Oh.
They were really, really good. And the prime detective could be Bob. I'll have to send him the books.
She was talking about a film, wasn't she?
Yes, and she said she didn't have any ideas for her leading man. And
we do now.
We do now.
That's
amazing.
Well,
who do you have on your show? I mean, I always look. I'm always going, oh my God, who's on the Wonderbirds? Who's on the Wonderbirds? But you have such an incredible mix of people who come on your show.
We do.
I mean, you cover every base. You know, if anyone needs anything or anyone wants advice on anything, they always come to the Wonderbirds. It is amazing. I hope people say it to you, how unbelievably amazing it is what you do. Because it works so brilliantly and so fantastically. And at the awards ceremony, I was like, God, this is huge. Because the world and his wife were there. I mean, everyone, literally. You were up against Sky, BBC, Amazon, all these amazing things. And then the Wonderbirds, you know, and you're like, it's incredible achievement. It really is. It was amazing.
And it was so lovely that you came with us to that awards.
Oh, it was the best night. It was the best night. And I met Hass. We've been back and forth. I met Hass, the amazing Hass. And it was, and we were just saying, it was like we'd known each other for years, you know. It's such a wonderful touch. A wonderful night.
But I do believe, Bob, once your mind is on something, if I've said to you, you know, it's a drama series, it's a detective, I think the minute you start focusing, if you get a phone call soon with an audition, you've got to ring me up and say,
I will.
I can't believe this.
Of course I will. Of course I will. But you see, there is this thing now, you must know about this manifesting thing that everyone's talking about. Everyone talks about manifesting. You must manifest this. You've been manifesting for years and years. You are the godmother of manifesting. Because you've been doing this. You've always managed. You've done this your whole career. You've thought about. You were able to see outside the box and go, how about this and how about that? And then you do the hardest thing, which is you put it into motion, just like this, just like the four of you doing this, and you put it out there, and it works. And I think there is a thing for not just going, I can see at the end of my nose and that's it. To actually be able to see a whole horizon and say, this is what. I think
the thing is manifestation that people don't put in all the books. I mean, they do in some, but not all of them. Is the fact that I want to do this, and the people expect it to happen. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
Manifestation is when you see it and you take things happen. So something will happen. Think, actually, I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Then there are clues. Then you grab the clues and then you go in that direction. And that's what happens.
You don't just do what actors do, which I include myself, and go, well, I've manifested that. So now I can go and sit in my chair and I can watch television, which is what most actors do.
Yeah,
they go,
never rest.
But actually, I think that's my generation, because our generation, particularly, you know, because when we left drama school at the end of the 80s, we were sit by the phone and wait for it to ring. Generation, because we had agents and we had, you know, and it was like, you know, there was so much more sort of not high profile work, but lots of work like rep and stuff like that. So you just sat by the phone and you waited for it to ring, and then you went for an audition and then you got a job, hopefully, and then you did the job. But now's this present generation, you know, watching my daughters and how they work, and watching that generation, they're creating their own work all the time. constantly
all the time.
creating their own work. They're writing, they're producing, they're going, well, if I'm not going to get a job, I'm going to go out and make my own work. But you've been doing that forever. And that's
I must tell you that the story that Dee knows, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, Bob, about how I got the part in The Sleeping Prince.
No,
this is fascinating.
Oh my God.
So I knew that they were casting this part, looking for the person to play opposite Omar Sharif in The Sleeping Prince. And I remember reading it in the Evening
I knew
Standard.
you did, because
And my mum was my agent at the time. She wasn't always my agent, but at this particular time she was my agent. And I'd done quite a lot of television, but it was all sort of sitcom. It was all very light. And I'd done quite a bit of theatre. I'd done work at the National, and I'd been quite a few fringe and quite a few tours. So she rang up Chichester Festival Theatre, the casting director who she knew, and she said, Debbie would be very right for The Sleeping Prince. To which they turned around and said, she's too light entertainment. We need a serious actress for this. And my mum came back to me and said that. And I said, well, that's ridiculous, because I know, listen to this, that no one else in this country can play that part better than me. To which my mum said, well, they won't see you. Anyway, so they wouldn't see me. So that was that. So about 3 weeks later, I said, why, Mummy, can't you just get me in? And so she said, I'll have a go. Anyway, so she rang up the casting director, and she wasn't there. They were actually in London at one of the theatres in town, and she said they're casting in London today for The Sleeping Prince. So my mum said, okay. So she rang the stage door and she said, can I speak to the casting director? And they said, no, she's too busy, she's casting. She said, oh, what time will she be free? And they said, well, they've got a big break between 4 and 6. So she said, okay. And then they're doing something again at 7. So then she rang back again with a different voice and said, oh, hello, this is casting director's assistant. Can you put Debbie Arnold in at 5 o'clock? And so she said 5, and so she did. So in I trotted at 5 o'clock, right, for my audition. I walk in on the stage and I can see the casting director going, where the hell has she come from? And I stood on the stage and they gave me the script and I read the script. Everybody was looking down. And as I started to read, they all started to look up and I thought, I've gotcha. And they asked me back, and I went back 9 times. And the last time I went, the time before I went back, I'd met Omar Sharif and all of this lot. And then I didn't hear anything at all, not for probably 2 or 3 weeks. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. Then bumped into Leslie Ash in the street, who was also up for it. And Leslie said to me, oh, wasn't it lovely getting that letter from Chichester? And I said, what letter? She said, we're saying that, it was nice to meet us, but we haven't got it. And I said, well, I never got one of those. So I remember calling my mum and saying, everyone's got a letter and I haven't got one. And she said, that's really nasty, really nasty. Anyway, the next day she rang me up and she said, the theatre's just rung me. It was 5 o'clock on a Friday night. I said, I've got the part. And she said, how do you know that? I said, because they would not ring you at 5 o'clock on a Friday night if I hadn't got the part. And they rang up and they said, she's got it. And you know why they were waiting to offer it to me? Because there was a chance that Goldie Hawn might play it. And they were waiting for her agent. And she turned it down. And that was it.
I had no idea that was a story, because I knew you did it. Obviously, I know the time you had. No idea. That's an incredible story.
Incredible.
But also,
I remember you telling me that. Sorry,
the thing is, you weren't just going, oh, I'll go up for that, blah, blah. You worked so hard to get into that room, to do it with the help and everything. No wonder you got it, because you must have come in as well. You were perfect for it. Absolutely right. There's no one better to do that part than you. But also, coming in that room, you must have brought all that energy, as you do, with you. And I think that must have been, rather than going, oh, it's just another, this, that, and the other, because you wanted to do it so badly. I think there's that great story about Richard Harris when he wanted to do Camelot, the film of Camelot, and he kind of pitched outside, and he was ringing up the director every day, and he pitched outside and he was singing the songs to the director's flat or something like that, and just made them cast him. Just made them go, all right, fine, we'll cast you. And then he was in Camelot. Yes. But you did that. That's a book on manifesting.
And also it's about self-belief, isn't it? It's about self-belief and confidence, and the fact that you knew that you had that part. And, I think it's a real lesson to be learned, isn't it?
Yes,
really is. About self-belief and confidence. Because my friend keeps saying to me, it's all about self-belief. And you think, oh, what is that? But that is it. Think of that story.
Think of that story.
We can all do that. We can all do it.
Of my
yes,
think
that's
of my
so
mother.
true.
Yes.
Think of my mother sorting that out and doing that. That was so naughty.
In your corner, fighting for a daughter to get that job. That's so wonderful. Years ago, being a director, and I said, "What's it like?" And he said, you would never guess how many people come in the room and they give off an air that they don't want the job. I said, really? They were like, yeah, they'll come in the room and they'll be pissy and they'll be like, well, I mean, what's this about? I don't like the play, and just sort of be like that. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I mean, you go in a room, you want the job. You have to, so you do your best. You do your best to give off that. Otherwise, there's no point going in the room in the first place. It's just, I just don't understand it.
Absolutely. Oh, Bob, you are so amazing. And
it's lovely to see you. Oh, it's the best.
But you know what,
Bob, we're going to end this show actually with you here. I mean, because we're not going to have it, because there's only 3 of us, and we have to say that today you have been made an official Wonderbird bloke.
Oh my God, I'm a Wonderbird bloke. Well, I'm honoured. My God, finally my dreams come true. I'm a Wonderbird bloke.
Wow. And ours as well.
You are the Fab Four. You really are.
We love you, Bob, and we say to all of our viewers, happy whatever it is.
Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas.
Happy Friday, and we will see you next Tuesday, and Bob won't, because he won't be here because this is Friday.
But I will see you soon, and have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, everyone. Have a wonderful Christmas.
We love you, darling.
I love you so much. Take care. It's lovely to see you. Bye, my love. Bye.
Love you. Bye, darling. Bye.